What is going on, people? You are back and joining us, the Motivational Moment crew. And as you can see, the boys have done a new setup right now. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just sitting here. I'm just a part of this episode. Someone take it from me.
I was going to say, Fabian, why do you sound so good?
Sounds so smooth.
Ooh.
Sound good? Who, me?
Sounds so sultry.
Oh,
We see you.
Okay, I hear you. But before we get on with the pod, we got to do, well, you know, thank you for watching.
Yes, sir.
I hope life is good.
Yes, sir.
If life is not good for you right now, take a deep breath, because it will get better. It always does. And continue to grind. We love to see you all grind. Hope family as well. And thank you for taking part in this podcast.
Yes, sir. How are we feeling this week, guys? How's it going?
Amazing. I'm feeling very good. Feeling very well, fresh. You know, momentum shift is just going in life right now.
Yeah.
As we, if you've not seen, the reel's been going up, and you know, I'm doing great refurbishment on my flat at the minute. And you guys doing a refurbishment in the podcast right now. Give you guys a round of applause. Jeez. Shout out. What's going on, my brother Ethan, man?
Bro, I'm blessed, you know, it's spooky season.
Ooh.
I love Halloween. I love to see everyone dress up, have a good time, enjoy, explore, get a little bit scared, get excited, just get that adrenaline going.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful week. I'm about to go to Manchester tomorrow to see my
Check you
homies, to
out.
shout out to them.
Okay.
Talk to me. What are you saying, Jed?
Boo. Because it's spooky season.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling fantastic. Like I said, Halloween's coming up, and I tell you, on the 31st of October, there's one thing I do, and that's watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh.
Bad boy movie, Halloween
Okay,
movie.
okay.
Jack Skellington is one of the greatest fictional characters of all time. That's my movie suggestion for the week. Definitely check that out. But no, I'm having a fantastic time this week. This new setup has got me feeling different. Got me feeling a little bit more professional. So I'm trying to hone this energy in a completely new way.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel the same energy right now. I know we're talking about spooky season. I don't know if the camera can see. I'm wearing my baby Milo top, which is a bathing ape top, and it's basically got like a Frankenstein bathing ape on it. One of my favorite tops, and I thought wear it for that spooky season also.
Yes, sir.
Check that out.
So, we're going to get right into the topics of the episode. Like Fabian said, hope you're good wherever you are. So, with a fantastic boom currently coming for NFTs, the topic of today's first conversation is, what one piece of art would you like to own and have in your living arrangement in whatever way you'd like it? So it could be an NFT, it could be an original piece of art, it could be something that we don't even know about that you could share with people, but what would be one piece of art that you would love to own?
I'm saying I'm going last for this one.
Ooh.
I'm going to save this one.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna straight hit the people with a big one, and I'm gonna say I want a piece of art like the Salvatore Mundi.
He said that's Salvatore Mundi!
Yeah. If you don't know what that is, I'm quickly give you a quick kind of background on the Salvatore Mundi. What it is a painting that a group of young people, not I say young people, but back in their day, there was collectors and a group of people came to buy this painting. Now, when they bought this painting, it cost them about $10,000. And this painting in 2017 sold in one of the biggest auction houses in New York, the Christie's, which is all over the world. We have one down in Piccadilly in London. It went for a record-breaking $450 million.
Most
Jesus.
expensive piece of art the world has ever seen.
And I thought that was amazing because it's not like it was just one person. This is what caught me more about it. It's the fact that a group of people went and bought something, held it for a long time, and then it went to auction. Now, I think the previous record breaking for Christie's was I think about 200 million. And so obviously you can see it almost absolutely double. Well, it did really actually double their record breaking piece of art to be actually sold.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I was going to get anything like a piece of art in my house, I want something like that. Where I know it's not too valuable, but it looks great. It's by a...
How are you going to say you know it's not too valuable
At
and
first,
then say that it's the most expensive painting of all time?
Well, because it takes time
You
to
got it like
become
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, baby's got money like that. You know, next week, expect to see the Mona Lisa popped up right here where them Jordans are.
I mean, and just to put a sidestep onto the probably piece that I would get,
Yeah.
there is a small gallery on, I want to say, I think it's Tottenham Court Road. It's not too far from Leicester Square. Leicester Square station. It's literally up the road from there, and it is a young. I want to say young, but I say it's a black-owned business, and They do great pieces of art of all the old rappers, singers, Jordan collections, all kinds of things like Muhammad Ali, all that kind of stuff in there. Really, really cool place to go see all the old record labels, all of it. It's all in there, and I probably would get a lot of art from there if I was going to buy a big slot as well.
If you could choose, very quickly, if you could choose one rapper to get, who's first?
Ooh.
Time pressure. I'm going to give you 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Who would I have on my wall? Old school Snoop Dogg.
Okay. I'm pretty sure one of you has a t-shirt which has Snoop Dogg on it.
I got the Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Doggy Dogg! It's a dog as well.
Yeah,
It's
Snoop,
a dog as
I would
well.
start between Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube. It'd have to be.
Yeah. I back that. So I'm going to move on to my piece.
Yep.
The piece that I'd like to present to you all. And it's my favourite piece of art anyway, so it fits anyway. It's the Great Wave.
Okay.
And I imagine you guys have probably seen the Great Wave before.
I've never seen it before.
That's been everywhere.
I've seen it on a t-shirt as well.
Yeah, I had it as a phone case for one time because it was incredible. It was I'm a Cancer, right? So I've got this affinity to water. I was on a date one time and someone said that because of my cancer I must stop drinking water because I ordered water for the table and they were like, that's the cancer in you.
There's star people there.
Sorry.
I mean, I like drinking water.
You're cancer as well, bro. So of course it's me and you. But
You know, it's almost like we're human beings, and water is 80% of our body. Ridiculous.
That is my one thing. If our body's 80% of a thing and we're not consuming 80% of that or even 50% of that, is my body okay?
Hydrate. You better stay hydrated.
I don't know. But my favourite piece of art is the Great Wave.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it represents something in my life that I lost for a while and recaptured with the Great Wave.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I'm talking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I studied with understanding language. I couldn't read or write. And so the subjects that I really enjoyed were the ones that made me imagine and see things. And one of those was history. And we learned about the eruption of Krakatoa, which is the biggest volcanic eruption that we have ever kind of recorded. And I say kind of recorded because this eruption went on at 1896, I want to say. And so they have some form of record of it, but they can't actively say as accurately as they can say now with earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. But it was the largest eruption we've ever experienced. And it caused a 50-foot high tsunami. And so the Great Wave, that piece of art there, is a representation of the tsunami that was caused by the eruption of Krakatoa off of the islands of Japan. And so it took me back to a time when I didn't understand how to learn, but I was fascinated with this one thing, and that is represented in art. And so I would love to have that in my house to remind me of the young Jedediah, who couldn't read, who couldn't write, but was still fascinated with learning about new things.
That's a great answer. A very good answer. This piece of art is incredibly close to my heart. And this, I've got a family. My grandma was an artist, an incredible artist who painted all up and down the country, including Malta, which I spoke about briefly last week. And she actually passed on that. Somewhere within the genes was passed on to my mother. And my mother took a teaching degree. I've spoken about this kind of university studying series for a while, but part of that degree was an art project. And my mum spent an incredible amount of time. I remember coming back home, seeing this table kind of spread out. There was like a mat, a protective mat on top of the table where my mum was drawing all of her ideas and coming up with concepts for this piece. And we used to watch geography and documentaries together about animals. And she fell in love with meerkats. So meerkats had become central to, I guess, her life in that period of time, but also then became central to her art. And she had this idea of contrasting a meerkat, which is an animal which lives in kind of Africa in the plains, in very flat lands, with a city. So she got a disproportionately sized piece of kind of paper and spent days painting this and creating a backdrop of a city. And then hand wire crafted this meerkat, which she then added paper mache to. So I saw the effort that went into that and the steps that she took and the hours that she spent creating this meerkat. And more so than that, the pride in which she applied to creating this meerkat on the art projects were displayed, and my mum was the central art project. So I remember going into this big hall of abstract art and various concepts, and seeing my mother's front and center, and I have an immense amount of pride of that. And you could see within her that she was so happy to just be able to show it, but also she had connected with a piece like she could, in a way that no one else could. And I'd love to own that one day. It's something that she still displays very keenly in the house. So yeah, that's my favourite piece of art.
I love that, bro. I love that you shared it where it's an actual piece of art where it's come from the family, so it means a lot more. And I think, like, we're actually talking about art here, but that just reminds me, like, when you have kids and the first time they paint, or like they're at school and they paint and they bring it home to you.
Yeah.
And and it's like, oh, here's your picture. I remember doing that like with my mum. And it's that whole kind of thing where I'm kind of getting that, that connection where when you see that 10 years later, it's like, yeah, because that was your first ever painting.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you gave me as a kid. And it's like for you to see that from a much higher level, like in your nan to your mum, to see it and actually see it grow in a much more professional way is amazing, bro. So thanks for sharing that.
And that connection to art has also got you drawing and doing other creative things.
It's true.
And the lineage does not stop. I know you're going to pass that creative gene on wherever you go. So that's incredible. And what I love is that we all chose a piece of art or chose something that we personally connected to.
Yeah.
I mean, Ethan's was a lot more personally connected because that's right in the bloodline, right? But we actively find and appreciate art that connects to us on a deeper level than just pretty pictures, which is, I think, what art is for the most part supposed to be. And it's definitely what because I'm not really one to go around a gallery and look at pictures and decipher the meaning. I'm one to just be like, ugh.
I feel like that was a slight shot. Like,
No. I mean, if you want to take it as a shot, take it as a shot, bro. Personally, I wouldn't have that.
Yeah, because I had this new thing where I like to go to galleries, bro. Like,
do your thing, bro. No, do your thing. What I'm saying is, I'm not one because my brain doesn't have the same focus you have. My brain is trying to get around as quickly as possible. So for me, if there's not a personal connection, I don't really appreciate the art, if I'm honest. Unless it's pretty colours. But like, I'm not going to go to a gallery like the National Portrait Gallery and look at a painting of like someone from 200, 300 years ago and be like, oh yeah, I really appreciate the brushwork here.
You say that, but for someone who studies TV and film and advertisement so incredibly, that's art study. That's you doing it. That's you killing it. That's
moving pictures and bright lights. That's where my brain has to go.
Welcome to the future, right? I think about 50 galleries that I've been to in the last few weeks are all moving images, colours, lights, very abstract, but you can kind of apply your own meaning to it. So yeah.
See, obviously, my whole fascinating thing with the gallery thing is that you say it's about the brushwork stuff, but sometimes for me, it's when you go to the quiet space. Because galleries tend to slow down. If you don't go somewhere like the National Portrait Gallery where it's so busy, you go to these small ones on these back roads, it's never tend to be so busy. So you could take a minute to outside's all loud, you step in, door shuts, it's quiet.
Yeah.
So you can actually take a second to take in what's in there. And I think that's what I enjoy more as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because I think you're trying to fire a shot at me. So
no shots, but we can fire shots, and I'm sure the results coming on later in this episode. So we'll get there. We'll get there. This man puts on a gorgeous do-rag and then fancy glasses and he turns into the hitman. What did you say? So the next topic is, you know that I have a thing for superheroes. That definitely is one of my niche topics that I just pull out whenever I possibly can. I love the creativity. I love how sometimes they mean something in purposeful moments throughout society and they are used to escape. Superhero movies in particular have had a renaissance as the go-to for everyone because they allow people to escape, to see the world in different perspectives and to see magical things that maybe even their imagination can't bring up. And so today the second topic is, what is your favourite superhero team? We want to look at team dynamic, we want to look at about interesting characters, we want to look about how do they rock as a unit and do they actually get the job done?
Boom. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. Let's start strong. I'm going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
One of the greatest intro themes of all time for sure.
Easily. Yeah. A team of four brothers. Brothers literally in arms. With arms. The story behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that they kind of interact with this weird green substance that transforms them from just your ordinary turtles into these humanoid images, and they also somehow come into contact with a rat who's also experienced the same thing, and then are trained and also named after four of the greatest artists, controversies aside, generally considered. So I think that they all possess particular traits in characters. One's kind of the angry one, one's the smart one, one's the kind of like peacekeeper, and then one's just the silly, goofy one that loves eating pizza and doing front flips. I love the fact that they all have distinct colours, even though they are essentially just the same one character, same one person, same one image. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just bring up so many memories, so many kind of joyous moments where you're eating your breakfast cereal in the morning. Their dynamic is one of brotherhood, and that is consistent throughout the whole thing. I don't remember an episode where they fall out. They might have a few moments, but ultimately no one is kind of getting past them. No one is doing wrong to any of the brotherhood. And they all look up to this father figure of Master Splinter to unite against Shredder, and it's kind of like an extension of one of my favorite movies, or one of the most enjoyable movies, Karate Kid. It's like Karate Kid, but with cooler characters that can actually kind of fight for longer. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the one I'm going for today.
Nice.
Yeah, they you know what? The company, I can't remember what company it was that made the figures for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hasbro, probably?
Yeah, Hasbro sounds right. They were chopping their lips when they saw they didn't have to make any crazy designs. They just make one turtle design and put a different colour belt and headband, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about any craziness. Just make the same mold 4 times with different paint, and you're good.
Who do you know who has collaborated with the greatest rapper, Vanilla Ice?
There you go. That's no response there.
For real. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's actually
If you own pizza, you show Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles everywhere you go. That is a walking advertisement.
People, so you know my brothers set up this great podcast room, and I came with 2 dead batteries. Yeah, my bad. But rolling back into the podcast, brother Ethan was talking about a great superhero. Quadruple? I don't even know how it was.
Quadruple is right.
Quadruple's right?
Yeah.
The quadruple Mutant Ninja Turtles and Vanilla Ice. And my brother Jed here was talking about
pizza. If I owned the pizza company, which is pretty much, I was just jumping off of what Ethan was saying. If I owned the pizza company, you best understand I'm just playing that constantly 24/7 the whole time, because first of all, it's good content. People are going to come in to watch, but then they're going to remember that this is the place that plays Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they're going to eat pizza.
I can see it now. Jedediah's Pizza.
That's the only place that can convince me that deep dish pizza is better than sourdough. Only place.
I love. You know what? Chicago deep dish pizza is something else. You know, I love that.
Something else if you are something else, because that's
We need to do that pizza thing that they the little packets they do. Remember I told you that our brother Stez did that whole thing with the college students, where you order it and it comes to your house and it's a deep dish pizza. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Make it yourself.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. That's my
bang. I got you.
I'll go away from when we can.
I'll be in my
stuff.
bang.
Yeah.
So who's up next?
I'm gonna let Jed go because I'm kind of stuck between 2.
Let me go. I'm a roll. Let's understand. And I know I said the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one of the best intro music songs of all time. But the crew that I'm choosing, they've got the best intro song of all time. I'm talking. Bro, X-Men, Know About Us. First of all, one of the greatest cartoons from the 90s. The greatest superhero cartoon from the 90s, in my opinion. Them yellow and blue outfits. You remember Wolverine? He got turned into a meme. The reason why I love the X-Men so much is because Stan Lee invented them to, one, represent the civil rights movement in the 60s, right? Xavier was to be Martin Luther King, and Magneto was to be Malcolm X.
Yes.
And to create that kind of imagery and that kind of storytelling to represent to a much larger platform who wouldn't have been in the same conversations as the civil rights conversation was fun. First of all, fantastic move by Spike Lee to use his creativity, the ingenious of Fran Kirby, who created a lot of those characters, to bring a conversation that should have been global to a larger audience. Again, was, I think, fantastic. But secondly, the range of characters you have within the X-Men allow for all kinds of stories, so much different forms of storytelling, and also for different characters to just naturally appear. A character like Rogue wouldn't exist in a team like the Avengers, right? Because Rogue is incredibly insecure. Rogue doesn't really fit in as far as powers. But when you have a team like the X-Men, it fits in perfectly. It comes through the lens of a school, you're learning, Professor Xavier is bringing you up, teaching you kind of in almost a parenting in the same way as learning your skill set, to the point where Rogue is one of the most powerful characters by the time Rogue develops. So yeah, X-Men for me is fantastic. And also Storm is one of my favourite superheroes of all time. So got to back X-Men for that one.
I wonder why. But
Because Storm is powerful. Who else can control the weather? Create a whole storm out here, literally.
True. Okay.
Who's your favourite X-Men? Fabian.
My favourite character from the X-Men. See, I want to say, it's got to be. Is it Jane?
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, dangerous.
Phoenix is deadly. Phoenix is one of the greatest storylines of all time. Don't let the movies confuse you.
That's what I mean. Like, because back in the day, in the comics, in like when you used to watch it on Fox Kids, we're not talking about cartoon, we're talking about Fox Kids here.
Yeah.
That's when Phoenix used to go off.
Deadly. Yeah.
She used to go off, and I think that's why she's one of my favorites, because I like the storyline of behind how powerful she is.
Yeah. I feel you on that one. Ethan, who's your favourite X?
I used to think Cyclops was just incredibly
I used to as well, yeah.
There's that scene in X-Men 3, and this is a small spoiler alert, but the film came out like 14 years ago. So
you know what I mean?
Where I think it's X-Men 2 or X-Men 3, where she's like, take your glasses off.
Yeah.
Just take them off, like, just trust me.
I got this.
Yeah, and then suppresses the eyes. I'm like, wow. That, like, it, for me, it was like, oh, this is the most romantic moment. As an 11-year-old, I was like, that's the sweetest thing you could do.
But, and that's another thing. It's like, you go back to, I think it was X-Men 2, is where she lifts the plane up and then she stops the water at the same time.
Yeah.
That's an incredible moment.
Yeah. Jean Grey's out as well. Jean Grey's out as well.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's why she the best.
Yeah. But Jean Grey didn't marry Black Panther, which is what Storm did. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, Fabian, moving on to you and your favourite superhero.
So are you saying by association to a man?
No, what I'm saying is they are two of the best superheroes of all time. Coming together as a unit to rule Wakanda? Nah, different source. Different source. Yeah. Royalty.
Who am I going with? So I'm going to go off the back of where you both said a great theme song.
Yeah.
And going back to childhood, not the now version, the childhood version.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say the Avengers.
Ooh.
Yeah, but the reason why, because I'm going to go back off of Iron Man. Because I remember watching Iron Man again on Fox Kids when he used to be like, I am Iron Man. And you're like, And the thing is, why you think about then, it's like, you see in the films when he's in the cave in first Iron Man and he's smashing down and making the first suit.
Yeah.
In the trailer of the cartoon, I remember that going, I am, and he's saying all of that, and he goes, and he's there smashing the iron, making the suit, and like, it's that whole thing of how he starts, and I like it because even in those comics, he still had his cockiness.
Yeah,
but it's like, if you don't see him from the beginning, you don't realise why he becomes so cocky, because at first, he thinks I just sell weapons. Mm-hmm. Then he stops selling weapons because he sees what he's doing.
Yeah. And
then says, right, no, now I save lives.
Yeah. Changes the game.
Yeah, and for me, the Iron Man's, like, through every Avengers film, does something crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's up there doing it right down to the end. And I know, like, we talk about it, like, he says, when he says to his kid, I love you so many seconds, and
I love you 3,000.
Yeah, and you're saying that's because that's the amount of the movie, the time of all the movies, right? And it's one of my favourite scenes from the Avengers. It's always gonna be Hulk saving Iron Man at the last minute.
Oh, as he's crumbling down. So he's got rid of the nuke.
Yeah, he's
thrown it at the aliens. Yeah.
And like, he's completely out of it, and everyone's sitting there. He's gonna die. And then this big green thing just jumps across the screen and bangs into the side of a building. Yeah. And then even to the end when he's on the floor and he screams at him, I'm like, I love it, because you go from that cinematic moment to where someone almost died to like that comedy moment of like, okay, I'm back. Yeah. And I think that's where the power of the Avengers lies, is in the diversity of the characters. As far as the characters themselves. I think Marvel could do a lot with the actual diversity of the characters, but when it comes to comedic output, when it comes to action, when it comes to fighting styles and powers, they're set, in my opinion, second to none. Because they are so entertaining to watch. And you have that clever, sarky,
intelligent Iron Man, and then you just have a brute like Hulk.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. They come together so well. I've got a question for both of you regarding the Avengers.
Okay.
What one Marvel character or what one superhero do you know of who's not in the Avengers who you think would be a perfect fit to be the next addition to the Avengers?
It's a good question.
It's a challenging one, right, as well?
I have one to mind,
Yep.
but yeah, I do like the sound of him in the Avengers
Go for it.
because I think I'm sure he's DC,
Yeah,
and
throw it
he's
out there.
one of my favorite DC superheroes, and I'm gonna say the Silver Surfer.
Also, Silver Surfer is Marvel.
He is Marvel.
Yeah, Silver Surfer is Marvel, and he kind of is always connected to the Fantastic Four.
That's what I mean. 'Cause I thought
Yeah.
Fantastic Four was more of
No, they're Marvel as well. Yeah, it's just
Hey, so let's go. Bring Silver Surfer around here, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
so Silver Surfer, interestingly enough, is OP. Silver Surfer is known as the Herald of Galactus,
Yeah.
and therefore is given the surfboard. So
Yeah.
when Silver Surfer is not hasn't got the surfboard, he's kind of a normal character who's incredibly clever and strong. But the surfboard makes him a intergalactic being, a powerful being that is on level with Thanos when Thanos doesn't have the rings.
Yeah.
And yeah, Silver Surfer is incredibly clever, is powerful, but has this kind of robotic mindset that makes him very unpredictable, which I quite like.
I don't know if that was Marvel. That's
Yeah,
bad.
it's
That's
good.
bad of me still.
Ethan, what are you saying? Who you adding to the crew?
I was trying to think of like lots of really kind of like different heroes that kind of bring something different. But I want someone that is going to be a bit of a clash with the Avengers. That's going to bring a bit of like darkness to the Avengers, because all of them Marvel characters on a whole, that are on the main screen, are all quite light, I would say.
Yes.
This character is a very well known character. It's quite a generic choice, but I like the idea of Batman joining the
I
Avengers.
knew that was coming.
One, because he's a really nice contrast as Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you get some moments where Bruce Wayne's like, I don't really want to become this billionaire. And Tony Stark is, I'm a rich billionaire genius. And they're both inventors in their own right. Tony Stark can fly. Batman has things that enable him to fly.
Yes, sir.
And then there's also this side of Batman is typically cast as a loner, Justice League aside. And even in the Justice League, he does feel like that kind of standout character.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like bringing that shroud of darkness. He wants to kind of stay away from the group, but the only way to save the Earth is to collaborate with these superheroes.
Yeah.
And I could just see like Batman and also Spider-Man having an interesting relationship and dynamic, because they're both kind of without parents, and they've also kind of got some father figures. And it could be like I could see Iron Man and Batman vying for Superman's like love. It's like, this is our kid.
Yeah, no, you're right. Is there something you need to tell us? You just went for the darkest, loneliest character and expressed how that darkness and loneliness makes them special. Do you want to... Is there something you want to talk about?
All good. I just want to see a bit of a grittiness added to the Marvel series.
It's needed. It's needed.
I like that. I'm gonna finish that bit up with there's a character called Miss Marvel, who is a new character who we haven't seen presented in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, and their name is Kamala Khan, and they are an immigrant. And
they have a series on her, right? Is the series just started?
Ms. Marvel? I don't know. Oh, in comics or in the TV?
I think maybe on like not Play.com, but like something like online like that.
Oh, I'll check that out because I've not heard of it.
I'm not sure, but continue.
So they run the Young Avengers. Kamala Khan runs the Young Avengers and is an incredible leader. I would love to see an adult version of Miss Marvel, who comes to save the day, who comes to lead that diversity that we were talking about the Avengers lacking, but also brings a whole new character type, is an incredibly powerful leader, but also very funny and very whimsical. And so for me it'd be Kamala Khan.
Okay, nice.
Right, I think we're rolling into the final question.
Yeah,
the final question is going to take us into design,
okay.
We've been in a very arty place today. So the question that I'm going to ask you now is, which is your favourite team uniform of all time? Now, this isn't necessarily limited to sports, but the main focus, I would say, it would be sports.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Fabian to go first,
so
we all have that first, second, third time.
Alright, so I'm going to just say one straight off the bat, get the viewers to remember. I wore a very, very nice jersey, and it's an ATO on it.
Yes,
I think that's a very clean jersey, because obviously it's black, white and red, and obviously everyone knows that's the bread. Anything colour bread, it's just clean. and their jersey very clean, and obviously respect to my guy Todd Gurley. So I'm gonna go with that. That's gonna be one of mine.
Respect to Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Anything else that we can say about that?
What? That is probably one of the best teams in the NFL.
No, I was just gonna see if there was actually. I thought you were joking. Was that a serious response?
Oh, okay.
Atlanta, is this what we're doing? We're bringing joke teams to the podcast.
I mean, Atlanta's a great place.
I'm sure Atlanta's a fantastic
Throwing
place.
Leeds.
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Throwing Leeds.
For Leeds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Throwing Leeds
But
in.
we're not going to put that on Todd Gurley.
No.
That's why most of the music industry comes from Atlanta. But anyway,
Oh,
moving
yeah,
on.
music industry. We're attacking the music industry.
That's
we got
true.
some good music coming out.
Okay,
there.
cool. Yeah, so let's not attack the team then.
No.
Moving on. I didn't support them, but moving on.
Okay, that's fair. So I'm going to show you guys the first one for me, and the first one for me is the Chicago Bulls city uniform from 3 years ago.
Okay.
And the reason why I love it so much, Ethan, can you work out why I love it so much?
Because it's based on the Chicago flag.
Oh, he knew exactly what I was going for. So yeah, the Chicago Bulls city uniform is a very light blue with white and red lining. And the reason why I love it so much is because it directly represents the greatest city flag of all time, and that is the flag of the city of Chicago. The meaning. Also, I love the purpose. I like uniforms to have a purpose. Like the design. I like the design of anything to just have a purpose. And so the fact that this calls back to the flag, which also has a purpose, connects it to the city. Sometimes a jersey looks cool just because it looks cool.
Yeah.
This looks cool and means something, and that's what I like when something is deeper than just it's pretty.
Yeah.
Which is what we spoke about at the beginning of it. So that's my first throwing it out there into the ether of the conversation.
Can I get my phone up?
Oh, he's gonna pull out some fire, some super hot fire. I'm ready for
So
this.
he is.
Okay, so the first one, it's interesting because we're both starting off with a basketball jersey.
Oh,
And I'm going for the Miami Heat, the Miami Vice.
That's that
inspired
Vice,
jersey.
sir.
So this came
That
out
is
what,
that Vice.
a year, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it's just a gorgeous array of colors. I like a gradient, and I like a nice gradient. It's kind of got, for those who are listening, it's a kind of pink to very like kind of light sky blue that we touched on last week. Go listen to that podcast as well. With the Miami Vice inspired font. And when they came out with this, I was like, yeah, that's a basketball jersey that I can
Hey, that's dope. I want that right now.
It reminds me of the beach. It reminds me of those good times. And
It's definitely a summertime vibe.
Yeah, it seems that
Summertime
like
vibe.
you know the fact that it's like I said, it's that Miami Vice, it's that Miami team.
Vice.
Yeah, that Miami Vice, it looks like that straight away. Like I'm looking
Yeah.
at it, I get that Vice City look. Like even playing on GTA, like that's that Vice
Yeah.
City color.
Yes.
You're on the beach, you're in that jersey.
Yeah.
You know you're in your hometown. It
Yeah.
looks like that.
Yeah,
Very
pink
nice.
and blue is
Yeah,
cool.
very nice.
Reminds me of that beautiful sunset you get in Miami.
No
What
doubt.
next podcast recorded from the beach of Miami?
Are you flying us out?
Yeah,
Come on, I got you guys. Yeah, we're good.
I mean,
You guys heard it here first.
Yeah. Hey, these guys get my promotions. I ain't gonna lie.
Sunset and sand. That's what we're going to next.
Hey, let's go.
Fabes, what's your next offering up for?
I'm gonna go with the Juventus alternative kit. Now, I can't
Ooh.
remember when it came out, but I actually saw this first on FIFA. Shout out FIFA.
What FIFA was it? Can you remember? Because that will help us.
Last year's actually.
Oh, so this is my
This is recent. This is recent.
from
And
last
this
year,
is the
maybe.
khaki green Juventus alternative kit. And I remember when this came out, this was the first time I said to myself, I want a full kit.
Oh, what, shorts and everything.
Yeah, like I said, I'll rock this because this is clean. Like,
What with your Crocs? I see it. I see the vision.
you see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go get this jersey right now. But yeah, so yeah, that's gonna be my second one. Now, I think it was one of the first times I saw like a kind of green kit that I liked.
Yeah.
And I think it was because it was the whole khaki thing and it was good.
Yeah.
Like I know like there's a lot of hype around the PSG kits because obviously they with Jordan now, so it's Jordan.
Jump man, yes
So,
sir.
yeah, but no, I just liked it because it was just different for me because it was all green. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like green kits for the majority. There are only a few green kits in the land that I like. A Boston Celtics City jersey, which is like an emerald green with gold lining, is really nice. The new New York Jets jerseys, I'm really,
Oh, sorry.
I really like.
No. We're gonna have to edit that one out, please.
What's one of the New York Jets?
What's right with the New York Jets?
Their uniform.
Gary V.
And their kit team. The
Yeah,
New York
yeah.
Jets kit team are incredible. I love you guys endlessly.
There you go.
Yeah, so green kits for me aren't usually a massive thing,
Yeah.
but I can see why you like. I'm getting Stone Island vibes from it,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just the
I
khaki
hear
that's
that,
bringing
I
me
hear
there. Yeah.
I know like a couple like navy blue kits that are pretty trash.
No, we don't do navy over here.
Yeah, navy
we don't
blue
do navy
trash,
over here.
you know.
FTB all day, every
Yeah,
day.
yeah, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on.
Do you want me to present my next one?
Oh yeah.
What we're pulling up. So my next one is one that's incredibly close to home for me, and I don't know if you guys can tell what's coming, but it's the Color Rush New Orleans Saints white and gold.
That's a clean kit.
It is a clean kit.
Yeah.
Clean kit.
I can't, and I can't like having the image with Alvin Kamara pop up here just makes it even swaggier because that's the swaggiest player in the NFL.
That's the Atlanta boy, right?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, he's signed to QC.
Oh,
QC.
is it Atlanta again? Atlanta again. Oh,
man. Yeah,
So ATL.
and
we
he,
can talk about Atlanta as a city.
and he got out because he played for the New Orleans Saints.
I mean, is there another team in the NFL with a bread uniform?
Bread.
Black and red.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Arizona Cardinals.
The
Arizona
49ers.
Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers.
Who had it first?
They have a clean black and red kit.
Who did it first?
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on.
Arizona
So-
Cardinals had a black and red kit for time.
No, they didn't. but
They
let's
did.
move on.
I don't tell it. Either way, this is about the Saints. I don't know why I'm talking about them dirty birds because the New Orleans Saints color rush kit with the gold reflective numbers and the clean white. There's not a kit like it. There actually is not a kit like it.
No,
No
you're
other
right,
team
you're right.
uses gold in that way.
I remember that kit. What we took you out the playoffs. But anyway, moving on.
Wow.
Who's we? Oh, you
Lots
guys.
of shots today.
So
You know what? It's interesting because my second one also contains gold. And it's a football kit that is the Arsenal 2006
Come on, you
December
guys.
bad boy kit.
100-year anniversary kit. And I'm not an Arsenal fan, but my dad is. And he got this kit, this jersey.
Can I ask one question? What happened to you?
I chose the right team.
Yeah.
I'm not-
Yeah, the smoke is coming through in this one.
I mean, just look at the Champions League winners last year and you'll know.
Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
And this kit is a burgundy and gold, and it's got a big O2 in it. Envy or Drake, you're going to turn it to the O3, but yeah. This kit was just, it's incredibly simple. It's two colours that contrast each other so very well. It reminds me of victory. And Arsenal at that time were a dominant team. They had some of my favourite players. Seeing Thierry Henry step out in this kit, Champions League with his classic gloves on and those boots, it just reminds me of good football times and some great football moments for all of our teams.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my second one. Shout out to Arsenal. Shout out to Arsenal fans out there.
Just
That's
looking
a
at
positive.
Just looking at the picture now, we'll probably put it up on the pod as well.
Yeah.
Is that I think I actually remember the badge being in the middle
Yeah.
because obviously normally the badge is on to the left or so. Where I think this was one of the kits of being there because I remember obviously if you an Arsenal supporter and you follow the team, you remember. Back then, like Vieira used to always put like Vicks on his chest.
Yeah.
I remember him always putting it on the emblem there, and it was actually crazy. And I was
Yeah.
like, why would you do that? Just ruin it.
You know what? That just brought back some good memories. I can't lie. That whole moment that brought us. Thank you for bringing the positivity. Arsenal need it right now.
This is why Arsenal was the best team in the world because
Facts.
out of all the teams in the
Sorry,
world, they had the best.
Sorry?
No one can say they had a better squad back in the day.
Facts.
What? Apart
You know,
from all of the teams that beat
facts.
them in
No,
all
you
of the
know what?
Champions
To be
League.
the best football team in the world, you just have to have a burgundy and gold kit. So we won. Good job to us. Final additions to the thing.
You know, I tried to bring some positivity to it and highlight some good things about Arsenal, but we're a team that's never won in Europe like that.
Anyway, so moving on. So my next kick, people, is going to be.
What about me? So, oh, wait, no, so you-
oh yeah.
You know, I'm on smoke right now. Fired up.
We literally moved from your one.
Yeah, just moving on. So yeah, we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets. We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets, grey,
The 2
white,
and
and
3
black.
Brooklyn Nets.
What, a
two-
team that shares a lot with Arsenal right now.
Oh, what?
Sorry,
Double
what?
up.
Did it to yourself.
We didn't
I
even
don't know
let
what
Fabian
you're
finish. Sorry, please.
I mean, you know, like,
Have you got a picture of it? I'd love to have a look at it.
I do actually have a picture of it. Let's get this picture up.
I'm gonna pop this up on the screen for
and
my
stop,
YouTube watchers.
stop talking about
2 and 3.
yeah, stop talking about that stuff. So yeah, so this is the Brooklyn Nets grey jersey. The reason why I liked it so much because obviously on a lot of their other jersey it's Brooklyn on the front, and obviously they kind of shortened it down and gave it more of like, you know, a backstreet vibe, like, you know, backcourt vibe on the streets, and I like the look of it. It just looked a lot more cleaner, cooler, just more nice.
Yeah, it's that kind of like graffiti.
That's
style.
it,
It's
yeah.
very stylized.
Yeah.
And the grey is a very pleasant grey to look at. It doesn't feel dull. It feels kind of alone with the white contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you jumped right on what I was jumping on, bro. We're on the same bouncy castle because that genuinely the reason why I love jerseys that look like that is because the storytelling is deeper than just pretty pictures.
Yeah.
It goes to this is the city that we're from.
Yeah.
The graffiti is a massive representation of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Hip hop comes from areas similar to that space, right? And graffiti is a part of hip hop culture. And so to have it represented in that jersey is fantastic. The grey, I would say, represents the skyscrapers across the bay that you can see in Manhattan. And so that storytelling connects you deeper to just looks good. This means something, and it means something to the players and the people who wear it.
And that's what you're saying. It's like the grey represents the concrete jungle, because that's what Brooklyn, Manhattan, New York is.
For real.
And amazing.
No, it's fantastic. So I'm happy that that's your number one submission. So my number one submission, and I know, see, Ethan, you backed me, and I'm throwing it back at you in the best possible way, because it's not going to be Chelsea, but it's going to be very close, and it's the England Lionesses away kit. And I don't know, can you see who's wearing that jersey right there? That's Fran Kirby.
Oh, yeah.
That is Fran Kirby, one of Chelsea's greatest ever football
You know what?
players.
She looked a little bit different then. It threw me off for a second.
Because she's in the red, right?
Yeah,
She's not burgundy.
so used to seeing her in the blue.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fran Kirby, one of my favourite footballers. She
Just
scored
very
this
red.
weekend against. We put 10 past Moldova, or it's a country.
Something like
country.
that. Yeah,
We put 10 past them recently, and Fran Kirby had 2 assists. Amazing. Wasn't it?
Nice.
Shout out to the England Lionesses. And the reason why I love that jersey so much is, one, it was the first time in maybe forever that the England Lionesses had a different jersey to the England Lions. And the reason why is because they were like, we're stepping in our own ground here. We're our own team. We deserve to do our own thing and do it differently.
Yeah,
and that jersey represented that in so many ways, because the England jerseys are usually white or red. Sometimes blue, but it's very simple. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't stop. It's kind of is a little bit simple. And simplicity is good, simplicity is fine, but creativity needs a chance to shine. And so the jersey is, thank you sir. But one of the reasons why I love it so much is because it's a burgundy, but slightly different burgundies are represented on the jersey.
Yeah.
In that.
Is it a bit more of a Ron Burgundy?
Good evening, San Diego. But what you have is every flower of all the major counties. So every county in the UK, for anybody who's listening who doesn't know about the county system or is from the UK, every county has its own county flower.
Mm-hmm.
And so the county flowers are represented on the jersey. And so if you look at it, you can see a rose, you can see the Yorkshire rose, you can see the Lancashire rose, and you can see loads of different flowers represented on it. And it was like looking at tapestry. So the storytelling, once again, is really important, but the just overall look. It's funny, me and you have chosen burgundy kits. And clearly burgundy is a great colour for a kit.
Yeah,
So
not blue, but yeah.
Definitely not blue. We cut blue out here.
Sorry.
This is a Chelsea kid, but
FTB,
another story for
baby.
another time.
Yeah, sorry.
So my final one is, this is one of my favourite sports teams to watch play.
Ooh.
They are masters of their game, and they have one of the most iconic opening ceremonies of any team.
This man's talking about the Chennai Super Kings.
I'm definitely not talking about Chennai Super Kings. This one is steeped. Also, shout out to Chennai Super Kings for winning this year. But this team has a deep history rooted in its culture. It's a Maori culture, and it's got the best kit of all time. Their all black kit.
Yeah.
And this is one of the simplest kits in the world. It's black and it's white. It's got the New Zealand All Black symbol, which is what type of leaf is it?
Fern.
A fern leaf. And it's simplicity at its best. It's black and white.
Yeah.
The team identity is so emboldened by it. Everyone knows that when they step out, this is the All Blacks. This is New Zealand. This is one of the greatest and most fearsome rugby teams ever to touch turf.
Yeah.
I don't need to say any more than that.
Bro, I would say it's brilliant, because the All Blacks are probably they're in the top 10 for most dominant teams in any sport in history, I would say. Yeah. They're up there. There was a time period where if they stepped on, they're winning 99% of the time.
Yeah. And even when they're not, they're still
even the women's
top
team
3 or
as well.
top 4.
All of them, yeah.
Their peak, their dip is never outside of the top 4 maybe.
No. Yeah, and so to have that, and then to see the all black kit onto the field, and then to have the haka, it's a brand bigger than just a rugby team. They represent a country, they represent a nation, they represent a culture, a pride, and a people, which you don't see in clubs. You never see in clubs. You know, we just mentioned the Chennai Super Kings. That kit is just yellow and blue and orange, and because it's nice, but it doesn't represent anything. And even I would say the England jersey, it's not a brand. Every other team has a white jersey, and every other team potentially can have a red jersey. It doesn't mean as much as I think when you see that all black kit come onto the field when you're watching a rugby game. It strikes fear into the heart of opposing teams.
And I appreciate that just the whole New Zealand, like you said, you called it the dance they do, the haka. I remember seeing a clip online, and it was a prom. And this young man was going to his prom with his girlfriend, and his family turned up to the prom. Yeah. And you saw young kids, everything, and they was doing the haka, and I'm like, this is so dope. Like, the whole school's out watching it, and then he starts doing it back to them, and then his girlfriend's doing it. I'm like, this just shows you how strong their culture is. And I don't really know a much stronger culture when it comes to that, and it obviously reflects in their rugby team as well. It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's really amazing.
That's incredible. I didn't even think of it, but it does stand out in a massive way.
Yeah.
And those black and white kits, those black and grey kits, like the Oakland Raiders, like the London Warriors, you know, them kits there, transcendent because they're so simple and clean. But yeah, so we've covered our 3 topics for today. We've gone through different ideas of what art we would like to enjoy, what our favourite superhero teams would be, and what are the greatest kits of all time. Let us know, what art would you have? What's your favourite superhero team?
What kit stands out to you?
What kit stands out to you? And if it's not the New Orleans Saints colour, we've got to talk. But genuinely, some great answers. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with the people.
Come on, let us know what you want us to hear us talking about.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we love you. We hope you are well. We hope you're enjoying life. We hope this has brought a moment of joy, wisdom, and motivation to you. But from the MM Talks crew, we are over and out.
Thank you very much for listening. Skitty pop pop.
Skitty pop pop.
We done. Good morning, good evening, good night. Good riddance. Peace. And just like that, that's a wrap. Testing.